Welcome, everybody. I'm here today with a very, very special guest, one of my mentors, a colleague, someone that I met once in Santa Cruz, I think in California, when I was there around 2004. I did three
He
trips to
came to
America.
my house.
I went to his house. I had the honor of I kept meeting his students when I was teaching in San Luis Obispo and different places. I kept meeting all his students, and they said, Randy would love to meet you. So we got together and that's been since 2004. So it's been a while. So this is a dream come true that I get to chat with my mentors and the people that have had an influence on me. So I just want to read a little bio out, I just did a bit of summary on his life. Randy Masters, based in Aptos, California, is a renowned harmonic mathematician and a pioneering sound scientist. His company, Resonant Living, makes wind chimes and tuning forks that are calibrated to anointed frequencies. His school, called the Not So Mystery School, teaches the mathematical language of light, sacred geometry, and the Solfeggio scale. His music of the sphere, or his music of the spheres, teaches the rotational patterns of the planets and explores the sonic properties of sacred sites, pyramids, and ancient musical traditions. Wow, that's a big mouthful. That's amazing. Wow, and
Well,
that's
could I say though that
yes,
Solfeggio scale, which I have a lot to say on,
yes,
as the first guy to extend it beyond six notes that Joseph Paleo did.
yes. So
And
Joseph Paleo wrote that book about biological what was his he wrote that
Healing Code is Horwitz, Leonard Horwitz published it. Healing Codes for the Biological Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. That's right. Yeah. So that was one of the foundational works. Was he like the pioneer of these triplets? When we take the phone pad one,
Yeah,
two, three, and rearrange the anagrams. So what was he looking at
he
the
was
different?
for those
Yeah.
because he was a Bible scholar. He spoke about six languages. He was a medic in Vietnam War in the military
Yes.
and a Bible scholar. And I saw the book. I got the book, Horwitz's book, and I go, well, let me look at these numbers. And then I discovered, since they were anagrams, that there would be more anagrams. So I just filled out the rest of the anagrams, and it gave me 12 more notes, numbers. Let's call them just numbers.
Yep. I'm just
And
looking for the chart now.
that made a total of 18. And then it got crazy on the internet, and people have said all of these things, and some people not really qualified also.
There's some of the numbers there. There's only nine. These are only
That's
what's
the first group of nine that
yep,
has the original six, starting with 396,
yep,
progressing up to 852, of which I added
yep.
285, 174, and 963 to that, and was the first to group them
Yep.
like that, put them in that order.
Did
Then
you
the
group
other,
them? Did you group them because the differences between the triplets was the number 111 hertz, or it's not
yeah,
about a
all but two.
yeah,
One difference tone is 102, and the other difference tone is 21. But all the
21?
rest of them
Yes.
are one. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then I made a second nonogram like this, or
Yes.
nonagon, depending, for all the other numbers that started out with 147 and went to 258 and so on like that.
Right.
And those had the same things. Two of the numbers were 21 units apart, and two other numbers were 102. So that was interesting patterns in that.
Yeah.
And then began to label them with their proper musical names, which is, there aren't very many people who could actually do that
Right.
because they don't have the musical background to know the difference between E sharp and F and G
Right.
double flat, that kind of stuff, right? Which
Right.
I specialized in all that intricacies of music, which
Right.
allows me to go places in terms of precision that most researchers with numbers and music, including professors, don't do. They
Right.
don't know how to take all the prime numbers out of the numbers and find out what the name of the number and what prime numbers that it contains. Like
Okay.
111, 3 times 37, a
Yeah.
product of two primes. That's very important
Can
because
I ask a
in the Bible,
question? Can I ask one question? A
sure.
lot of the students watching this might not even know what a solfeggio scale is. But if we look at the common phone, the natural square one, two,
Yeah,
three, four, five, six, seven,
yeah,
eight, nine. What we're saying is that if we take a column like 258, we can rearrange that six different ways. They're called the
right.
anagrams. So my question to you is, we know there's three going this way, there's three rows and three columns, but if we take the two diagonals, like 357, 159, why don't we, if we make anagrams of those diagonals, that then we get 48. There's six lots of eight ways of getting triplets. There's 48 different permutations. How come no one includes the two diagonals in the phone?
Well, that wasn't part of this pattern as a number
It's
pattern.
different, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, it's a number pattern. And let me, and also my friend Judy Cole
Yes.
from Fort Worth, Indiana called me back then, and her, her guides told her to call me and that I was her number math guy. She never heard of me. So she tracked me down way back then. And then we've been doing a lot of research ever since. And she's
Right.
very fascinating in that.
Can I ask a question about Judy? Because my friend is Shira Hart from London and Bali. We were
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about,
they've been friends.
yeah, they're very good friends. And but I've got a note here that Judy Lynn Cole and maybe yourself organized a 162 note matrix harmonic code. How did the 162 matrix code evolve out of these solfeggio triplets?
Well, you do different things like you add up all the anagrams of, let's say, 147. That's the smallest
Yep.
and lowest number
144.
anagram. And
Yep.
you do all the different anagrams,
There's six of them. There's six of those.
and you add those in, you get the frequencies. You add all the vertical columns when you put it in a graph,
Yep.
and the horizontal, we're not doing the diagonals like on the
Yep.
keypad. I called it originally the keypad codex because I
Yeah.
just playing around trying to give it a
I
name.
use I use diagonals because I'm into magic squares where we look at the diagonal
Well, I do
sum.
too, but not in this case.
Not
You
in
see,
this. Yep.
these are numbers
Yes.
and, created out of the gematria that Joseph Paleo was a whiz at.
Yep.
Adding numbers to every one of the letters and numbers, the alphanumerics, as he often would refer to it as, which is accurate.
Yep.
And that's where it was coming from. It never said in the Bible, and that's a whole other subject that we have to
Yep.
be very careful of talking about the Bible. It
Yes.
never, what's real, what isn't, who said what, who really said what, all of that kind of stuff. But numbers and letters are intricate through the ancient mysteries and all these different languages. And
Yes.
that's one of my specialties. And I
Yep.
make tuning forks to gematria from Greek, from Hebrew,
Yep.
from various languages, around in the world where that's important because the mysteries and a lot of the events in the world are coordinated by the dimly lit, as I call them, the
Mm.
deep state dimly lit, coordinated on numbers. Totally, they're addicted to having things happen like on 9/11 and
Yes.
what that means. And
Mm.
Shakespeare had all these incredible number codes as well. If you
Yeah.
read
A lot
Alan
of the
Green's book.
bombings that happened in London, tunnel bombings and other world events,
Yes.
they all happened 111 days apart, then 222 days and 333s. There was actually a mathematical formula that was predictable as to why people were obsessed to use harmonic numbers for big events. And then I looked at all the assassinations of the presidents in America. I think every 20 years there was an assassination attempt on since the time of Abraham Lincoln. But there is
Yeah, it's
patterns that
pretty
repeat.
incredible, isn't it?
I love
Well,
all that stuff. Yeah. Can
that's
I ask
part
one
of their.
question? I have a
Yeah,
question about just going back to 162. You said there's 162 note matrix harmonic code and it relates to cymatics. But in my work with my fascination with the golden ratio, the golden ratio, just for those, is the symbolized by the golden spiral. But
Yeah.
ratio 1.618 can be 1.618 can be reduced or simplified to 1.62 if we round off the decimal, because it's normally 1.6180339.
But see, that's only from the Fibonacci series,
Yeah.
that made the point. And all of those Fibonacci ones, once you get to 1.617 and then all that,
Yeah.
round up to 1.62. Now, 1.62 comes from a different series that starts out 257,
Okay. Two
and
five.
it'll go, 2, 5, 7, 12, 19, 31,
Oh,
50, 81.
okay.
So 81 divided by 50 is 1.62.
So you add in those two five to get the seven, like the Fibonacci way.
The same,
Yeah. So
they're just called additive series.
yeah, additive series. But I just want to say one more thing about 1.62 is my students are studying a thing called harmonic maths, which means where we're allowed to slide the decimal to the left. So if you go 1.62, slide the decimal to the left, you can make it 0.16. But if we go the other way, 1.62, slide the decimal, you can get 16.2 or 162. So that makes it the macro. So this sliding harmonic maths ability allows us to go into the micro and the macro. So I just wanted to say that it's interesting you chose 162 to
Well,
explain.
there's a lot of reasons for that because the
Yeah,
years and years of work I did with with
Joseph Paleo.
no, I was thinking with Wes Bateman. We were going to write a book about 1991 or so called
Oh yeah, Bateman. I've
Drums of
got a
Ice,
note on him. Yep, go on.
Drums of Ice, Harps of Fire. He had the book The Rods of Ammon Ra. He had the book
Yes.
Chariots, Dragons and Chariots that are all about UFO drive systems. He has knowledge from the stars. And so we were partners in research for 12 years, packed with information. I didn't even have a computer at the time.
So is this on the pyramid math? Like he was a telepath or
Yep.
something? Yep.
Yeah. He was a telepath for beings off planet or
Oh,
somewhere else. Okay, when we get into that, or somebody gets into that,
yeah.
anyway, But and so we got along great. And I just in his book, he had a musical scale, and he didn't know music. So I
Oh,
jumped on that scale and started expanding it, and it blew his mind. He thought he was done with that work. And then we went on for another 12 years. Eventually, he died of cancer. And it was fascinating stuff. In that work, on the pyramids, which involved a lot of work on hydrogen, and I broke some codes on hydrogen mathematically.
are we talking about the spectral emissions? The
The spectral emissions, and
hydrogen?
yeah, of the different four famous series: Balmer, Brackett, Lyman, and let's see. Anyway, different famous series that started in the 1800s
Yep.
of the visible lines and some that were not the visible lines.
Yep.
Patchen, was one of them. So I studied all of those, every
Yep.
single line.
And is
And
it
with
true
our
that the
math,
hydrogen atom is based on the golden ratio, the radii of the electron proton relationship is in the 0.618 ratio,
well,
phi
the one that
ratio?
we used, which I called the hydrogen phi, is 1.62.
Yes, there you go.
So you have 486 nanometers of light in the Balmer series of visible light,
Yep.
and that's 300 times 1.62.
Love it. Yes.
Yeah,
So
and
that's why
so I went
harmonic
through
maths.
all of them,
Yeah. So that's why harmonic maths is important, that 1.62 is a harmonic of the 162
Yeah, it's
matrix
not a
scale.
non-rational number.
Right. Yes.
And I divide the stuff rational numbers that can complete. Then there's the numbers that have a repetan,
Yep.
like 1 over 729 has an 81 decimal repeating repetan.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
That's a lot of numbers
Because
before it begins to repeat again.
729 is 9 cubed. We're talking about 9 cubed, which is,
Cubed and 27 squared and 3
yep.
to the sixth power, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Very important number
Yep.
also in the white pillar of King Solomon's temple,
Yep.
called there's Boaz is the female temple, a female tower. That's
Yeah.
the
And the
black,
Jarkin.
and that one is number 79. BOAZ is the word for it.
Okay.
You know, and then Jachin, Jachin, is the
Jackie.
male pillar, white, and that number is 729.
Right. Well,
So
while you're talking, can I just share the screen? I want to keep talking about 27 because I'm going to find a chart. I put in a chart here that looks at the number seven, the 27. I'll just put up just for my viewers. Where my green circle is, you can see 27, 54.
yeah, those
It
octaves are
keeps
just
doubling
all octaves.
108, 216, 432. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I see 27. Bruce Cathy says that there's
Well, those
27
are
hours in a day, cosmic time versus the 24 hours in a day. But keep going.
okay. So those numbers from 27 to 3456 are all the A notes on an 88 key piano if you do 432 as your A.
Yes.
So the
Four,
lowest
three,
A
two.
on the piano is 27, and the highest A would be 3456. So
Right.
you get 8 different A notes that are all octaves of the 432.
Right.
And that's all very interesting.
And
Very
and
interesting.
and while we're talking about octaves, I'll just unshare the screen. I want to show Um, I've got a chart here of all the. I found this in a Rosicrucian Center, and it looks at
That's right. I had it
that.
too
It
years
looks at the
ago.
doubling sequence. Just for those who don't know, it goes 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. It goes forever, and it even goes to the frequency of quartz, which is like 32. 2 to the power of 15 is like Tesla said was the frequency for quartz crystal of that
Well, then
represents one.
you get 4,096 hertz when
Yep,
you do that. But the quartz piezoelectric frequency
yep,
is different. That one is a high octave of 3 hertz,
yep.
786,432 hertz is
Right.
the quartz piezoelectric frequency.
Okay, can we go back again? Because that was one of my questions. I was just watching some material by Elena Danan, like she's a cosmic
I have books by her. I've watched
yeah,
her. I haven't.
she's one of my heroes, and she was talking a lot about
She's the by far.
4096 hertz. So that was actually one of my questions. Can you explain that again, about the connection to crystals technology and why 4096 hertz? Should we all be having a tuning fork based on 4096 hertz? Like these are the ones that you make?
Well, a lot of companies make that. That's not 4096.
No, that's
What you
not. This one is 108.
496 is a
You
little bitty fork about like this.
you sent me 108 hertz. I asked for a custom made tuning fork, which I use a lot on my heart chakra.
Yeah,
So you made me this. That's how we connected at one point. But
yeah, that's
but
big fun. Well, 4096 would be the highest C on an 88 key piano,
that's right.
if especially if you tune to a
Eight, is it
432.
8 octaves from the middle, lower C or middle C? Is it 8 octaves above? Because 4096 is 64 squared. Is that right? It's 64 times
Right.
64.
Uh-huh.
So there's 8 notes in an octave. So it must
And
be
the
eight
lowest
octaves
C
lower
on the
C. Yeah,
piano is 32 hertz.
that's
It
right.
starts
Yes.
there. And the lowest C that can be
Yeah.
heard by humans is at 16 hertz.
Right. So why is 4096 so sacred? Because all my friends that are healers want to get it now since they heard Elena Denan
Well,
rave
yeah,
about it.
that's all it takes. It just
Yeah.
like all this noise, but no, I'm not making a parallel the same
Yeah.
around 528. It does not repair broken DNA, but that's gone all
Good.
over the world
Yeah.
ever since they leaked that out. And I know the story of that and
Yeah.
all the people involved. And oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I've heard a lot of gossip about 528. So this is part of the research why I want to talk to authentic teachers like yourself, like real pioneers in sound. Like that's why I need to
Yeah,
talk with people like you to get the truth. Like we just ultimately want a real library of frequencies that heal the body and cleanse our homes, and so
there's a lot of really great stuff around all of that. And of course,
yeah,
many tuning fork companies sell 1096 hertz
yeah. Okay, and it's
tuner.
a small one, 4096. You're saying it's a very
Yeah,
small one. Okay.
that note and that number exactly is the beginning of what's called the ninth audible octave in sound.
Say that again. It's the ninth. Audible.
Audible octave. So it goes 4,096
Yep.
to 8,192,
Yes. Eight one
in
nine.
which
That's
case
right.
there's 4,096 overtones
Mm,
in that octave.
right. Oh wow.
It's called not the ninth octave, the ninth audible octave.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
That's important because the
Yep.
first audible octave, well, debate, because not everybody can hear 16 hertz, but basically 16 to 32, then
Mm,
32 to 64. 64 has often been measured as the base of the spine, a frequency.
mm,
Uh, Now, there's a medical set of tuning forks that many companies make that are used for diagnostic purposes in the regular medical industry.
yes.
I won't give it other names. I won't call it a medical cartel or anything because I
Yeah.
don't want to get, you know,
We need you. We need you.
I don't need a Target. I can go to Target and buy a t-shirt, with a Target on it or
Yeah.
something, but anyway, so that they sell all the octaves there, the 32, 64, 128, which is used a whole lot for pain relief, very popular for that.
Yep.
256 middle C, which for years before A notes were used as a reference for tuning in the US,
Yep.
256 middle C was the reference note, not an A note, a C note.
Okay.
The A notes began to dominate, and there's a lot of politics about.
And with the 256 with C as a 256 hertz, is that how we got the 432 hertz as the ideal? The 432
Well,
hertz
they
that everyone's
relate.
talking
I
about?
mean, yeah.
For A note, I think the A note becomes 432 hertz or something. The
Well, the
concert pitch, the
A note
tuning.
that's based on the Pythagorean major sixth ratio, 27 over 16, 1.6875 times 256, gives you 432. But
Right,
the normal just tuned A in common diatonic tuning is 426.666,
right,
which is the Fibonacci ratio 5 over 3 times 256.
right. Okay,
Okay, so two different A's that are all part of the same tuning system
right.
that you can use, and that's also very
So should I
interesting
be
how that.
tuning my oud? I'm learning the Arabic scale on an oud, an Arabic 11 string
On food, yeah,
guitar. Should I be tuning my oud to 432 hertz, or is that all just hype instead of the 440 standard concert pitch tuning?
well, it's only become standard due to the let's just say the dark side of politics,
Okay.
which that was forced
Yes.
because to detune in the world,
Yeah.
the
So are
Rockefeller.
we in a
No,
disharmonic universe? If our musical traditions have been altered and played with, are we in a disharmonic state of affairs overall? If we're not
that
tuned,
was their intent, in
yeah,
my understanding. That does not mean that the single frequency of 440 is a bad number. In the one measurement of the Giza Great Pyramid is 440 units for the length of the base.
right, okay,
You have to get the right cubit in order to get that in feet or meters or whatever, but it's 440 of a certain thing by typically 280 high is one of the measurements of
okay,
that. So, and 440 is not a negative number,
okay. Because I think
right?
John Lennon played Imagine, the classic song Imagine was done in 444, 444 hertz. So, and
Well,
it's one of
that's
the most,
very popular,
yeah,
as you know, with the triple numbers,
the triples,
because when
yes,
you do equal tempered tuning, which is non rational numbers, except for the octave, the high C above 444 is 528.
yes, okay,
That's really cool.
yeah,
And
okay,
444, an octave of the one, a double octave of the 111, which is found in like the hypogeum and all these places around the world because it's in that gamma brainwave, and it puts
okay.
people in gamma for doing spiritual studies. Very cool thing.
I'll find the hypergeum for you. I got an image of the hypergeum somewhere for you. It's funny, I knew you were going to talk about the hypergeum.
Hypogeum.
Um, I've got two images here. There's one image here. Um, but what I noticed about the hypergeum, It's that when you go inside the middle ear, because we know that there's crystals, these otoconia calcium carbonate crystals in the middle of the ear, and that layout of the human ear looks like the layout of the dugout stone cavern of the hypogeum. There's an interesting,
Yeah,
because you're a
absolutely.
musician, the symbol of the ear is a map of a sacred site, of a sacred temple. Can you tell me more
That's
about that?
well, that's important because see, they designed and the hypogeum, at least that's how I think it. I don't know how it's truly pronounced.
I
Okay,
don't know either. I haven't been there
yeah,
yet.
um, the wind blowing through that temple will create a 111.
Is
You
that
don't
right?
even have to
111, 111, did you say?
yeah,
Yep.
111.
The holy frequency, cellular healing.
Oh,
So
it's a
say
ton
that
of
again.
stuff
The
on.
wind passing through sets
Yeah,
up
just
a
they
resonance.
designed the acoustics so that the wind passing through the temple automatically creates 111 hertz. Now
Beautiful.
that's way cool,
Yeah.
right? I don't mean WHEY. I mean the WAY. The way.
Yeah.
For the vegetarians, I would include the WHEY. You know what I'm saying?
And it was 30 feet underground. I've got another note here. The ancients used sound to heal. In Malta, the oldest underground temple in the world, there is a room called the Oracle Chamber designed to vibrate sound at 111 hertz, which scientists now know. This is what I want to know from you. Does this 111 hertz kill cancer cells using the 11th octave or harmonic? Is that I've been hearing that a lot, but is there any truth in the 11th octave when we say, does that mean if we take, say, a diseased liver, let's say a liver, the natural healthy liver is 50 hertz, say just if it's natural, but then if we go the 11th harmonic, does that mean we double 50 to 100, 200, 400, 800? When we hit the 11th doubling,
No,
is that what
no,
that means or not? What does this
no.
mean?
It doesn't mean that, but it's easy to see how it could get confused.
Okay,
Okay,
can you
so
explain that?
there's a researcher who did a TED talk, and then after his TED talk, his lab got broken up and trashed, and he was
Right.
talking about curing cancer with sound frequencies.
Yes.
And I'm trying to remember his name, but it's still around. You can find this
Yep.
particular, which I don't know why he went public in that way, kind of way,
Yeah, because
with his languaging.
it's
Okay,
quite
what he
radical.
did is that they would find a frequency for a particular cancer. They would, through however they use their technology, to isolate the measured frequency of a specific cancer. Then they would put another note with it that's 11 times the note they found.
So 11 times, not 11 doubling, not
No,
11.
no, not
Oh, because
two, not two.
I thought harmonic meant octaves, like an octave.
No, no. Includes all the different harmonics and undertones. Subharmonics would be undertones,
Okay.
like 16 divided by 11
Yep.
is the 11th subharmonic,
Okay.
whereas 11 over 8 is the octavized eighth overtone.
Right.
So two different things, mirror images of each other. So what they did is they would find us another frequency somewhere up, I don't know, in megahertz or whatever range. I forgot right now what range they did.
Yeah.
And it would be 11 times the frequency that they isolated for a given cancer.
Yeah.
They
So we're
put those
talking
two together.
about if there was a diseased cell, if they knew the cycles per second of a diseased organ, you multiply that by 11.
Right. And you
Yes.
put the two frequencies together,
Okay.
from what I've understood on that, which is
Okay.
very interesting. And
Okay.
I've done a lot of thought around why 11, because 11 is in a gap between the fourth, like the perfect fourth, which is an undertone, actually 4 over 3 times a frequency.
Yep.
So if we were talking a 440 for just a moment,
Yep.
okay, an F note would be 352 hertz exactly,
Right.
which is 256 times the perfect fourth ratio, 4 divided by 3. And the fifth, which is 3 over 2, 1.5 times, not 256, I meant 264 C.
Yep.
That's the C you'd have with A being 440
Right.
in just tuning. Okay, then with a 264 middle C times 3 over 2, you get 396, which is one of the original 6 Solfeggio notes. Okay.
Yes.
And 528 was the other, which is just an octave of 264, that type of thing. Well, between the fourth and the fifth, there's a whole step, 9/8, 9 over 8, 1.125, a Pythagorean whole step, by the way, if you want to go take it in that way.
Yep.
And there's a lot of stuff with 9/8. I mean, it's the S2 constant of Buckminster Fuller is the ratio 9 over 8.
And if you got an 8 by 8 chessboard square, the perimeter of that square would be 1, 1, 1, 4. If the perimeter of a square on the chessboard is 4 units, and we made a circle to equal the circumference of the circle to equal 4, it would fit a 9 by 9 grid around the 8 by 8. So 8/9 is what squares the circle, makes symbolically heaven and earth equal.
It does, and there's a
Yep.
form of pi. I'll just insert this at this
Yeah.
moment, but we'll get back.
Yep.
That if you want the area of the square to be 64,
Yes.
8 by 8, okay, I'll
Yep.
keep that.
Yep.
And you want to have 64 be the area of the circle,
Yeah.
not a sphere, circle.
Yeah. We're equating them. We're making
And
square and
you have
circle equal.
diameter. The diameter of the circle would be 9.
Yep. That's right.
So 2/3 pi times the radius squared, and you
So it's
get
8. The
that.
ratio is 8 to 9, is it? Yeah.
That's, yeah, a whole step, just like that's it. And the value of pi that you have to use to make that come true is one that's also found in Egypt, 256 divided by 81.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
which the octave of that is 128 over 81, which is the Pythagorean minor 6 C up to A flat ratio.
Amazing how you remember all this fine detail. Like you're just a
Well,
living,
I've done it for so
you're
many
living an
years in my
encyclopedia.
sleep.
It's like,
I
yeah.
do it in my sleep, you know. And
Hey, I
every
had
once
some
in a while,
question. About 7 years ago, I bought 4 tuning forks from you. These two are called, for some reason I asked it, I don't know if you can see, but they're 216
yeah,
hertz.
216, yeah,
So
right.
you explained to me that when you tap these, like if I tap them on my knee and put them there, they're resonating, they're in unison. I can hear
Right.
they're humming beautifully. But so I use that sometimes when I've got a headache. Would that help calibrate the left and right hemispheres of the brain to be equal, to harmonize? If say you got a headache or something, or not necessarily? Because that's what I use
Well, I mean, the
for.
unison, that's one thing to get both sides of the brain. Uh, to have a binaural beat,
Yep.
it has to be that the left ear hears one frequency and the
Yep.
right ear hears another.
Right.
The right ear does not hear both frequencies, and the left ear does not hear both frequencies.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Whereas in a difference tone, just a difference tone, like 111 and 100, it's
Yep.
11 hertz difference
Yep.
tone. Both ears can hear both tones.
Right.
But if you want to get that 11 hertz
Yep.
in your head,
Yep.
the left ear hears one frequency, the right ear hears another, and they resolve inside the head, and that's where the binaural world is at
Right.
its best.
Well, that was my
That's
next question. The other 2 tuning forks I got from you, this one is the 108. That says 108, and this one says 117. The reason why I chose the 108 is because when you add up the repeating pattern in the Fibonacci sequence, there's a 24 repeat pattern. And if it starts with 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 4, 3, 7, it adds up to 108. But if you start with the number 1 in the repeat sequence, there's 24 numbers that repeat. It adds up to 108 plus 9, which is 117. So does that mean, so I've got, these are 9 hertz apart. So does that mean if I'm tapping these and putting them, say, on my skull, that difference of 9 hertz, is my brain, the two parts of my brain registering different
yeah,
frequencies, or they're both hearing
yeah,
it?
yeah.
So,
And when it's out external like that, both
yep,
sides of the brain are hearing it. So you're getting
the whole
a
body.
nine, you're
Yep.
getting a 9 hertz pulsation.
Oh, okay. That's what it is.
You're
It's
not hearing 9 hertz. You're hearing a rhythmic pulsation of 9 per second.
oh, I see.
That's very particular. That's
Yeah.
how fine this really is. You're not
Yeah.
truly hearing. Now, what I use a lot is called the trithalamic frequency.
Trithalamic, as in thalamus,
Yeah.
the
Well,
thalamus.
no, well, not really. It's because this frequency, which is 1.45 hertz. That's down in delta. You don't hear that, but you
Yes.
can hear the pulsation if you were to play. So if I had a one, I do this. I take a 111 hertz,
Yep.
then I add 1.45 to that, and I have another fork that's 112.45.
Right.
Now this is for difference tones. This is not for binaural. This is for difference tones. I do a different thing to get binaural. Okay.
Okay. I've got another
So
question on Marcel Vogel. I don't
okay,
know if
well,
you can see it here,
I
but
want to make sure
yep.
I've said something there. Okay, so you could take any, now this is why 1.45 is important.
Yep.
It balances the pituitary, the pineal, the hypothalamus with the heart. 4 things.
Wow, all in one point. See, we need to get a registered library, an authenticated. That part of my mission is that we get an authentic library of frequencies with their real effects on for healing, for resonance or whatever. But how do we determine that 145 hertz really does that? How do we get a true 140? Do we get that off an oscilloscope, a frequency generator? Like, can we generate these real?
There are researchers,
Yeah,
whether or not they're AMA approved or disapproved or wherever
yeah.
they are, that have equipment that can
Okay.
measure
So we
the
can,
brain waves.
so the
And it
equipment
has,
is genuine, but
yeah,
then how do we associate what it really does? How do we prove that 528 hertz or 145 hertz is doing? Is it just trial and error on patients to see how we feel when we
a lot of that,
subject
a
it?
huge amount. And I know researchers,
Yeah.
medical doctors, naturopathic doctors, various healers that have equipment that measure things, and it's all over the board. This is no small task to have something that we could say this is safe, and generally this is what it does. See,
Yeah.
that's one of the problems with the 528.
Yeah.
It does not repair broken DNA.
Good. I'm glad you said that because that's been a big controversy. This is why we're doing this. We want to know the truth. I wanted to read out your mission statement.
Get
You
in trouble with
reminded
the
me
research.
about why we're doing this is that I said his mission is to reconnect spirituality and science and the codes of existence that assist in the raising the frequency of human consciousness. So I love that. I found that on somewhere about your notes that you sent me. But your mission's important, and we want to leave a legacy of all the truth of frequencies because the
See, a
frequency
lot of
is the
people don't
future
know.
of medicine. Yeah,
A lot of people know me in the last 30 years, maybe, or since or 20 some years, whatever,
mm,
um, because of my work in teaching sound healing and sacred geometry and that type of stuff and spiritual
right.
technique. Who didn't know me as a composer who did movie scores, a couple movie scores, and played with famous musicians, made records, toured and played in the world,
Can you mention
and
some
taught.
of those musicians you've played with? Can you mention some
Well,
of those?
Tito Puente, I played with his Latin Jazz All Stars, and once with his big band, Cal Jader, the jazz vibraphone player. I wrote a couple albums worth of music and did a music director for Charlie Bird on classical guitar. He's the guy that brought
Beautiful.
bossa nova into the U.S. from Brazil. He specifically him, and
Okay.
it goes on and on. Lou Harrison, in terms of more far out things with tuning, I played piccolo trumpet on his American gamelan recording for Sony,
Yes.
where he had a whole gamelan, and I'm playing a written part. He's passed away. He lived around the corner from me.
Yeah.
It was really incredible.
Gamelan,
Um,
is it what they play in Bali, the traditional
yeah, with all
instrument?
those
Yeah.
tuned instruments that
Yes.
are all tuned. So I had to tune my piccolo trumpet, moving the slides so I could play those intervals
Oh,
in tune with the gamelan. I, I,
yeah.
I didn't like that piece. It's called Buberon Robert. I didn't care for the piccolo trumpet part. He wrote other ones for like viola and saxophone,
Yep.
violin, whatever. Beautiful melodies. He's a great composer. But the one for trumpet was really kind of mechanical, and there was some. But anyway, I did it, and I was
Yep.
honored to do it. And what that was, because he was a master of microtonal tuning. He wrote a piece for that Keith Jarrett played piano on, the Cabrillo Symphony Orchestra, Cabrillo College here, Cabrillo actually, because it's Portuguese and Spanish, did with Keith Jarrett on piano. That was really, really, really beautiful. Even though Keith Jarrett did not like that kind of tuning, which is
Right.
interesting. He did, and he did a good job. But that piece was beautiful. The tuning would not be putting people off. It was
Yeah.
Lou was a pro. So I had all that kind of, and groups from
So
Africa.
are you basically an expert in what we call micro tuning? Like you can fine
Yeah.
tune anything to the finest degree. That's such a rare gift because we're losing that art. Can I
Well,
just go?
I don't tune it
Yeah.
all by ear. I mean,
No.
you can use equipment. No, those microtones are so precise that you
Yep.
breathe on a tuning fork, and the decimals are going to wobble.
Yeah.
That's a really heavy thing to say that.
Yep.
As it
Okay.
is, and he talks about perfect pitch and things. A lot of people have perfect relative pitch. They can give you the name of the note, but they're not telling you what the sound frequency is. They're
Right.
not. You play two A's, and they're not going to tell you which is 444, 440, or 432.
Right. I
You
want to go
follow?
back. I want to go to a diagram. We've got about 10 minutes. I just wanted to um two more diagrams, one on Marcel Vogel and one on the
And it's pronounced Fogel because it's
oh,
German. That would
Vogel, is it? Okay.
Fogel, like Fogel
Oh,
is how it's really.
Vogel. I've never known that.
He was a deep friend, of a real dear friend of mine. When he passed, he gave his work to her.
Oh,
And so I've got a lot of direct info from Marcel. Marcel was amazing. People don't even know how amazing he was.
um,
He had somebody grow a limb right in front of him.
so I've got
And
two diagrams here. Um, I've got I found this diagram of the water molecule because at school we were told that the H2O, the two hydrogens, the angle between the oxygen and the two hydrogens is 104.5. But
right.
and that's one angstrom. One is an angstrom like a millionth or a billionth of a meter, but it's very small. And this is the golden ratio here, down here. But anyway, I redid this diagram.
Well, 3 times 10 to the 17th is for nanometers,
Yep.
and 3 times 10 to the 18th is an angstrom. An angstrom is 10 times a nanometer.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that would be with a meter equaling 300,000.
So it's
So
like a billionth.
300,000. Yeah,
Wow.
so you got a lot of zeros in there.
Yeah, a lot of zeros. So um I often take scientific things and my job is to translate this esoteric stuff, the physics, down to the level of a child. So because a lot of my students are teenagers. So what I'm interested here is to show that when water is reconnected to its glacial properties or like spring water, the angle goes from 104 to 108 and it hits that pent angle. So we call that
Yep.
superstructured water. I was just wondering, like, is this why we call it liquid crystal? Because that pentagon relates very much to we call the dodecahedron, which is the
Well, the dodecahedron and the icosahedron are both found sharing a common edge in the water molecule.
also both of these are in the water
Yeah,
molecule. Right. Yes.
right. Icosa, and then we have what's called the icosa dodeca, as you know,
Yeah.
and all of that other stuff. But yeah, that's really, really important.
So you would take the number because the angle in the pentagon here is 108 degrees, the external angle. So you would take, you said you played with some anagrams about 108, like you can rearrange the number 108 in different ways. Like what would
You
you,
want you want a couple of quick ones?
yeah, just a few quick ones. Like I'm interested in how your brain works and what you do with sacred numbers like 108. Yeah.
Okay, so I study all the numbers that I study, and I deprogram I factor out the prime numbers inside it.
Oh,
So I know
okay.
what the internal harmonics are, just like the internal numerical chemistry
Right.
of a number is. I do that with the numbers, assuming that that can be done and it's not a non-rational number.
Right. I've
Okay.
never thought to do that. That's incredible.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a big key. That I've got all the solfeggios, all with their prime numbers, and it
Yeah.
shows some very interesting relationships. So
Okay.
we got that. Okay, so 801 is called the alpha and the omega in Greek.
Yes.
One for alpha and 800 for omega. So 801, the alpha and the omega in Greek gematria. But
Yes.
it also means the dove, which stands for the language of the birds, which stands for light language. The
Yeah.
white dove was Mary Magdalene's special bird.
So just
So
for my students, for those that have never heard of gematria, in English we'd say A is one, B is two, C is three. But so in the ancient Greek, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, whatever, each letter of the alphabet has a corresponding number. So you're saying in the Greek alphabet,
when I do
801,
Greek
the reverse
gematria,
of 108 was relationship to Mary Magdalene. Is that what you're saying?
no,
Say
I'm
that
just saying
again.
the number 801
Yep.
in the Greek language comes out of the dove, which
Dove.
actually means language of the birds, which means light language.
Oh,
This
love
is
it.
what it really means. It's
Yeah.
not that the birds are at 108 hertz or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's one
Yep.
of them. That's one of them, and that's a very very important one. And I make tuning forks to all those. It's a sonic prayer to play an 801 tuning. So you get the 801 is the
Yep.
going backwards with your 108.
Yep. The
Which
108 could be 180, which is what half the circle, which is if the circle is
exactly
unity consciousness, you've got 180, which is the polarity or the halfway point or
all
something.
of those meanings are all and 81,
Oh,
which is the
81,
sum
yes.
of the three magnetics in the periodic table add up to 81,
And
for
what's the
instance.
reciprocal? What's the reciprocal of 81? 1 divided by 81 is point oh 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. There's a missing eight. It's called
That's right, in that
missing
direction.
eight sequence.
Yeah, you're missing the eight. It'll go 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
missing eight. And then the inverse of that cycle
Here,
would
I'll put
be,
it on my screen. I'll share the calculator on my screen and put the reciprocal of 81. So I'll go,
and do it, multiply it by eight, and you go 9.8765432, no one when you're going down.
hold it. I've just let me grab it. I've got it on my screen, but it's not enlarging. But anyway, what I can do is I'll go um, 1 divided by 81 equals, there's the point 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, skips the 8, goes to 9. Then you said multiply by 8.
See, when you're doing the descending progression,
Oh, look at that. It goes, oh, that's interesting. It descends and then it's missing the 1 or something.
that's right, it misses the one on the descent and
Yep.
it misses the eight on the ascent.
Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that. You just taught me something. Thank you for
It's
that.
fun. That's
Yeah.
really all that stuff is very, very fun.
Yeah.
And I can sometime we'll do some stuff on your 729 in your address.
Yes. The time now here, I'm looking at the time. It's 11:11. The time here in Australia is
Hard,
11:11. So there you go. So
you
that's the
see?
sign. So what does 11:11 mean to you? Are we in synchronicity or
Oh
what?
yeah, that's a very, very big one and good for getting rid of headaches and things for a lot of people. I won't say
Oh,
everybody.
yep.
So I'm not being medical here.
Yep.
This is for educational purposes only and for laughter and fun. Okay.
Yep.
Now, what was I going to say about that? I derailed my own.
11:11 medical healing
Oh
head.
yeah, so 11 times 101, the gematria for Archangel Michael is 101.
Okay.
11 times that is 1111. So that's a really interesting
Okay.
thing.
Love it. Yeah.
So if we were healing something whereby something that needed to be healed was 101 hertz, then they, by applying 11 times that, the second frequency would be 1111, the two
Right.
together. See?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff with the quadruple numbers, 11, 11 times 99, 99.
Yeah, I'm actually putting together a whole dictionary of harmonic numbers. I call it harmonic stairway. So next year, I'm going to have a 5,000 page encyclopedia. I've spent the last 40 years of my life, like yourself, researching important numbers, but I've kept a record of them. You and me, we're archivists. I'm a record keeper of all these sacred numbers.
Yeah.
So next year, stay tuned, and we're going to have an amazing dictionary encyclopedia of numbers and also words. So, but if you want to know what's 108 or 111, I've got 50 pages on each one, but also words, a dictionary of sacred geometry words like what is a dodecahedron, what's fractal mean, and that's another thing. We're going to close soon, but you were doing something on psychoacoustics. That's a special word. I don't actually know
Yeah, it's a
psychoacoustics.
psychological
Could you
impact of
explain that
brain
before we
waves.
leave?
Yeah, the psychological impact of brain waves with certain frequencies impacting them. It's a huge topic. This is a
Yeah,
big CIA topic because they're using the 5G towers and all to control people and control
yeah,
their thoughts, what they're thinking, and their actions and all that stuff. It's heavy duty stuff.
yeah. Can
Now,
we
when
shield ourselves from this negative
yeah,
frequency?
mhm. Yeah,
Great.
and there's a lot of different techniques for doing that, and we must do that because the 5G towers is actually a genocide device. It's not for
Yeah.
communication
Yes,
with
I
the cell.
understand.
What a joke that is.
Yeah,
Just saying. Okay, again, this is for educational
yeah.
purposes only.
That's right. And I've
You
just
know,
got one more question, and then we're going to have to end because it's nearly an hour. But I've got here a
focal
Vogel crystal. I just wanted Fogel. You said it's pronounced Fogel, but I just want to show that this, according to Fogel, this bottom bit here is the feminine, and it has a 51-degree angle. This
right? It's a cross section.
the slope.
Uh,
It's the upside down version of this pyramid
that's right
angle,
of the
which has a
Giza.
50,
But
that 51-degree, 51-minute angle along here, if you do, is close to 52. So that's half
yeah,
the water, that's half the water bond angle. Half of 104.5 is roughly the pyramid angle. So this point here, does this point here the
how many sides is the one you're holding? How many faces do you
it's
have
only
on
got
that?
four. Oh, this one's got 24. It's a citrine, it's a slight yellow color,
Yeah.
but it's a 24
Sometimes
sided
I
one.
let me tell you stuff about citrine
Yep.
and how important that is in sound.
Yes.
We can get into that sometime. The
Yep.
other one, of course, is an equilateral triangle
So
cross
this one
section.
up here is a 60-degree angle. So just for
Right.
my viewers, because a lot of my viewers are buying Fogel crystals, but I just wanted your expertise on is that the feminine? Is this the positive? Why is that 60 and
Yeah.
52? What's
Yeah,
the,
there's a lot on that. Absolutely right. And how you hold it when you work it, and
yep,
how you treat and how you
how
prepare
you
the crystal.
spiral it and pull energy.
And he
You
didn't
can,
make multiple ones beyond
yep,
8 sided. He wasn't into that. I
yeah,
don't know if he made a 12. I had his first three uh, crystal cutters were friends of mine that cut
yeah,
crystals for me. So they told me a lot of different things about what he actually did.
yeah.
Others have come along in the new age and they've made them 12 sided and 13 and
He worked with
16.
four-sided ones as well, apparently, for the,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
have some of that stuff, you
So
know.
just for those who don't know Fogel, all I know is that he worked for IBM for 22 years and he was working with an image of Mother Mary and was able to psychically transfer an image of Mother Mary onto a liquid solution. I forgot what the solution was, but he made an image appear, and that liquid crystal is what birthed this technology of the liquid screen on our devices. The way we're
Yeah.
communicating
He
now.
invented something, I'm forgetting right this moment what it
Yep,
was, that's used in all the early computers that
yep.
he invented for IBM.
Yeah, IBM. So this is an interesting topic because now we're looking at not just healing and vibration, we're looking at good technology that really the bottom line with all this discussion is how can we use this amazing frequency and vibration from the ancient times and redirect it towards a good technology that is
Yeah.
healing and beneficial for everyone on the planet. So,
People
do you
should
have
look
any
up for
final words?
IBM.
How can people contact you? Like, how can people contact you if they want to know more about your website or um,
Yeah,
resonant
they can
living?
email me at universal song, SONG, at yahoo.com.
Okay.
That's my general public, universal song at yahoo.com. I have a website that's getting heavily retweaked, but it's still up, called universalsong.net.
Yes.
And then I have a cell phone of 831-295-0650.
Okay. And I can write all that up in the comments later on. But I just wanted to thank you because obviously we'll get some feedback from this. We'll put this up on YouTube. And according to the amount of feedback and questions we get, I got a good feeling people are going to want you back and we can do a part two or part three. Obviously, we've got a lot to share and talk about. And I just want to honor you for your spirit, for your dedication, and for the vast knowledge that you have. And yeah, I really appreciate you
Well, thanks for the
sharing.
opportunity, because I'm just now really deciding to step out a little more. I kept a lot of privacy around me for my own composing and research, so I didn't get bogged down in the. I don't do Facebook,
Yes, okay.
for a reason.
Of
But
course. Yeah.
anyway, but I am on lots of interviews and well-known people's interviews and sites
Yep.
saying different things that, and I want what we talk about to be what you would really like to get from me, because there's an infinite number of stuff.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you're interested in, I'm interested in, and talking
And
about
what I
that.
love when I talk to masters like you, which is your name anyway, masters, um, um, I always learn new information just whenever I chat with amazing people like yourself. So thanks for sharing, and we'll keep in
Oh,
touch.
I'm excited. Let me know what they discover about that big
Yep.
circle over Australia
Oh,
that goes out to
I only
17.
just read your email this morning. I didn't know that there was a big circle over in Melbourne somewhere. You,
Huge,
I haven't
tens
heard about it. I better
of
check the
thousands
news
of
tonight.
miles.
How
Oh
big?
yeah, there's something. The environmentalists had no idea what that was. They don't know where it came from. Tens of thousands of miles, square miles.
Whoa,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, there's something going on.
Something's happening in down under. Jeez, okay. That's
Yeah,
okay. Well,
and
look,
I
I
don't
look
know.
forward to coming back to the USA for my fourth trip. And if I do come to California, we'll
Come visit
we'll
me.
meet up again.
Yeah, come and visit. Hang out
Love
here.
to.
We'll have a big of fun. Remember,
Lots of
that's
fun.
PHUN. It's educated.
PHUN.
PH. Yeah. Okay.
Love it. Well, thank you, Randy. Bye for now.
Okay. Bye bye.